Places is what they say. They hella love musicals and they review them all day. It's Jen and Sara, the Broadway Broads of the Bay.
Places!
Hi, I'm Jen.
And I'm Sara, and
we're the Broadway Broads. Hey!
Welcome back, everybody!
Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to
the Broadway Broad Squad!
We're so happy to have you guys join us again. Make sure that you hit that bell notification. Make sure you're subscribed so that you get every single one of our videos. You'll get a notification every time we drop.
So if you guys aren't following along on Instagram, you should get over there because we like to throw out some questions and ask the Broadway Broad Squad what kind of content they want. And so this particular vlog was requested by you.
By you. The most requested that we got, and it is your broad's top 10 theater experiences.
All right. Yes.
This was not easy.
No.
Right?
No.
This was not easy.
To narrow it down, and we had, this was not an easy list for us.
Not at all.
No.
We actually, we didn't fight, but we got into some heated discussion about what was going to make the list.
or the order.
Or the
particular order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was hard too, to order them all.
Yeah. So we're going to break it down for you guys. We're going to go in order, starting with 10.
Yep. So make sure that you stick with us all the way to the end, because remember, we are going to be giving Lights of Broadway cards at the end of every video.
Yeah.
So make sure that you stay till the end.
Yeah, we actually have 4 giveaways for this one,
Yes,
right?
we do.
And one of them
is a trio. Ooh. A trio. You're going to get 3 for 1.
Yeah, so stick with us. We'll reveal the cards at the end of the video.
So without further ado, shall we go?
Let's dive in.
All right, here we go. Number 10. Number 10 is Matilda. So Leslie, I'm sure you all know Queen Leslie. She made her Broadway debut in Matilda. So I was so happy to get to see her. As a kid, I watched Leslie play every title role from Peter and Peter Pan, Annie and Annie, Oliver and Oliver, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. And even back then, I'm telling you, she is the genuine article. She is exactly what you think she is. That is Leslie. She is one hell of a broad.
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough to go see her on Broadway, and she was kind enough to take me and my aunt backstage, give us a tour. We got to see her just slay as Mrs. Wormwood, and that was such an honor for me. So thank you for indulging me in the number 10 spot of seeing Queen Leslie in Matilda.
All right. Okay.
So
number 9 spot.
Number 9.
Okay. This is going to Choir Boy. So we knew of Choir Boy because of Aint Too Proud. Jeremy Pope, who we had seen in Aint Too Proud previously, was going to be making his Broadway debut in Choir Boy just before opening Aint Too Proud on Broadway.
Think about that for just a second.
Okay.
A Broadway play, a Broadway musical, 2 nominations. I mean, come on.
So of course we grabbed tickets. I mean, and in Broadway Broad style, we sat in the front row, and our fellow broad Nicole joined us for this one. But I think the thing that makes this the most memorable for your broads, so we actually had the honor of getting to meet Jeremy Pope after the show for a very special reason.
Yeah. So you guys know, this isn't new, that we're huge Aint Too Proud fans, and we've been following the show since the beginning. So Jeremy reached out to us and gave us the honor of making us customize Aint Too Proud hoodies.
They were his design Temptation.
His design, that said Temptations, but then on the sleeve, which I'm sure you've seen, on the sleeve, we let him decide what he wanted to put on the sleeve, and he put ATP favorite gals.
Yeah, and those sweatshirts, like all the cast had them, and they all had like their names or their nicknames or whatever on the sleeve. So it was like so special that he did. We became part of that little family, and it just it really meant a lot to us. So that really,
it's still one of my most if not most prized hoodies.
Yeah.
Obviously besides our own, but but yes, I mean that was such an honor.
Yes,
so,
very much so. All right. Yep. Okay, the 8th spot goes to Hamilton, Chicago. So this trip actually revolved around your broads going to see the North American premiere of Six, the musical. but we were going to Chicago. So
And when you go to Chicago and Hamilton is housed in Chicago, you go see Hamilton too.
yeah, and so the performers in Hamilton are amazing. They're on social media. They're connecting. The Hamilcast also gives you really a lot of insight with the performers.
Yeah.
And so we were able to connect with a particular performer by the name of Sean Zuni. They are a swing for Hamilton, and you guys. They play so many parts.
Every single track. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had no idea. So we literally left our Airbnb and we'd already had contact with Sean several times. But we received a text message from Sean when we were in our Uber. And Sean said that they were going on that performance. And we lost our shit. We were so excited.
So not only did we get to connect with Sean, we got to see Sean perform.
Yes, we did. And then Sean, on top of it, we had no plans of this at all. We planned on leaving a little gift for them at the stage door, and that was going to be it. But Sean then sent a text to us saying, come backstage, and gave us a full-blown backstage tour of the entire show. We saw everything.
I will never forget that.
It's pretty much the same like as the Rogers, but maybe it feels like there may be a little more space. Yeah, there's no crossover in New York. You can't.
Oh yeah, you got to go down.
You have to go down and the stairs and go all the way back. Yeah.
Oh, you guys gotta cross. That would save a little bit of time.
And some of these props, like in New York, a lot of this stuff flies up, like because there's not enough space like these to live like down here. Like this big desk just flies up and it hangs. Like,
That is
'cause
how
there's no
brilliant.
space. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no space.
Oh,
It's like Clayton's drum
Yeah,
set. And
yeah.
Aint Too Proud. They have to lift it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they raise up like all their set pieces. Yeah.
look at it.
Costumes here.
Oh my goodness.
More about that.
I know, right? You're only in the damn thing. It's just you're working, you know.
Y'all do
Yeah.
good track? Yep. Yeah, we good.
I love it.
Yes. I don't even know what this is. I can't
like
even
a-
tell you.
Whoa.
Like a little shrine.
What?
I don't really know.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's like voodoo magic.
But yeah, stuff like this, these are chairs like,
Yep.
you just gotta get creative with space. And like little nooks like this. This is the same in New York.
That they have.
It's like the same exact space. Like you walk off and you can chop your feet.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Oh, and the desk. So the Washington's desk is preset the same way every time. So they have these pictures here to show you what it's supposed to look like.
But is there stuff that's stuck to it, right?
There's some things that are there's some
That are already placed
Yeah, I don't know
on.
where the desk is. But,
look.
yeah, there's like this. You see how these are up?
Yeah.
This is like for all of the tables in New York. I think are like that.
Wow.
'Cause
Wow.
I don't remember.
Oh, and there's the glass top.
Yeah, the glass
they
top.
stand. Yeah.
That's where that light comes from.
Oh,
Yeah, but
oh my goodness.
And
Brilliant.
there's no props don't come from like downstairs or anything.
It's right
Anything,
here.
yeah,
Here.
anything that we
Yeah.
use is you just saw it.
Can I
Yeah.
go back on just to get one
Oh,
more?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, I'll just go through here. Oh my goodness. Amazing.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Sean.
Of course,
Thank
of
you.
course, of course.
Oh.
Sean Zuni is currently raising funds for the first Black-owned coffee shop in West Hollywood. Sean is planning to create a space for community, for performance, and for acceptance. So please join your broads. The link is below. Donate what you can. They are well over halfway to their goal, and we are so proud of you. We
We're
love
gonna
you.
road trip to LA.
Yeah, we're coming to the
just
coffee shop
for a cup of coffee. Yes.
We can't wait to celebrate this beautiful thing that you're creating. So thank you so much, Sean, for being part of our top 10 theater experiences.
Yes,
We love you.
Never forget that.
Absolutely. Okay, so the seventh spot.
Okay, are you ready?
Ooh, yeah.
7 goes to Book of Mormon.
Mormon.
Book of Mormon, another
Yeah.
one, dear.
This one's really special. So this was a road trip. I was taking my daughters down south to see their grandma, and a couple times before we've done this, I'd be like, Jen, come take this road trip with me. We'll see a show or something.
Okay.
So Jen obliges, and we head down. And this time it was to see Book of Mormon at the Seekstrom Center for the Arts in Costa Mesa, California. Yep. So we were pulling into our hotel, and Jen happened to see somebody with a tour jacket on.
Yep.
And what did you do?
I went, hello.
She rolled out the window and she did that.
And that's all I said was hello. And I got this, oh God, hello.
He smiled, he waved, he was very gracious, but you could tell he was like, Lord have mercy.
Lord.
So anyway, that day we headed to the show.
Yes.
Right? It was a matinee. And in Broadway Broad Style, where did we sit?
We sat in the front row.
Yeah. So,
And as we do, we're big fans of the show. We've been following the two leads for a long time. And so we had these huge hustle heads made of them and had them in the front row with us to hold up of the two of them. So that was super fun.
But during the show, we're sitting in the front row, and the gentleman that we had made this small connection with, by the hotel, was in the show, and he had some fun with us during the show.
During the show, kept staring at us
He would,
during the
yes.
show. It was so funny.
We're getting all
I was
the
like,
looks.
They're looking at us, right?
Yeah, it was amazing. So the show was wonderful. It was fantastic. So fast forward later that day, Jen and I, we had some cocktails at the bar, and we were like sitting out front of the hotel. There was this beautiful bride and groom having their photos taken, and we were just sort of enjoying that. And out comes this gentleman who was in the show, and he's like, hey, how are you ladies? And we just get to chatting, and he's literally
walking over for his call.
For
and
his
we're
next
going to
show.
go see the show again. We were going to see it again because we do that.
Yeah, because we do. And he crosses the street, and mind you, the theater's literally across the street from the hotel.
From where we're staying. Yeah.
And he crosses the street, and we're kind of sitting there, and he turns around, and he sort of hollers across the street like, hey, what are y'all doing later? And Jen and I look at each other, we're like,
hanging out.
Yeah. And he's like, well, do you guys want a backstage tour after the show tonight? And we were, yeah. So we met him after the show, and we had a backstage tour, and that is how we met our darling friend Chris. Yeah.
Who has now been our friend for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. And so, fast forward now, we got to see Chris make his Broadway debut in My Fair Lady. So, I mean, it's just been
full circle.
Yeah.
I remember when we were at our Airbnb and Chris told us that he got the gig. We all wept.
Yeah.
We all cried together. We popped a bottle of champagne that we just so happened to have had. Of course, we had champagne, and popped a bottle, and we were so happy. And then we flew out to go see My Fair Lady.
Yeah, and then we saw My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
The show was beautiful. Chris was amazing, and he also was the understudy for Freddie, and he got to go on. We unfortunately didn't get to see him, but just remarkable. We love you, Chris.
We love you.
Hopefully
Lifelong
we get to
friend.
see you soon.
You are one of our broads forever.
All right, so let's get to the 6th spot.
Okay, number 6 goes to our hometown, Hamilton, San Francisco.
Oh yeah. So back to Chris.
This is another full circle moment with Chris.
So Chris of course knew we were huge Hamilton fans. And like a opportunity sort of popped up on his social media that they were looking for merch sellers for the Angelica tour. He put us in touch with the hiring managers, and
we got hired on the spot.
Absolutely.
What are we doing?
We are working.
That's right. And what are we doing? We're selling Hamilton.
Look at the new San Francisco shirt.
Oh yeah, where's that at?
Ooh. I love working here. And we both have full-time jobs, so it was really just for fun because you all know we love the show Hamilton. So for us to be in that room where it happens, I did that. Sorry.
So we worked a few shifts a week for the entire run.
Of the
Angelica tour.
Yep.
And because of that, something very special that came of that was that we were invited
to the open dress, the first ever
final dress
rehearsal of Hamilton Angelica tour.
Yeah, but not only were we invited, we were allowed to bring 3 guests each.
Yeah.
So that was super special.
That was really, really cool.
Really special.
Yeah. So I brought a fellow Lights of Broadway card collector, Babs, and her friend, and then my dear friend that I work with, Adriana, as my guests, and Sara.
I got to bring a good friend, Harlan, who I did theater with, went to high school with. We share a lot of theater memories together. I got to bring Lexi Lazier, who is a director in the Bay Area, makeup designer, very, very established in the theater community here. And then I also got to bring my high school drama teacher, Mr. Lucian Vinci, who, if you know me personally, you know how much he means to me. And so to be able to sort of full circle bring him to, to the hottest ticket in town was very special.
Very special.
Yeah, so that definitely, Hamilton, San Francisco is special.
Yeah.
So not only did your broads do the
full
Angelica
run of
tour,
Angelica, but then it came back. Hamilton came back with the Aunt Peggy tour, and guess who got asked back?
so we headed back and we were doing a few shifts for the Aunt Peggy tour.
Yep.
And honestly, we would have ran that entire run to the
run.
end had it not have been for the COVID-19 pandemic.
We
so.
did get to go to the opening night party, which
What is life? What is life?
Very cool, you guys.
very, very cool. And that cast was fantastic.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
so
beautiful.
Yeah. So that absolutely gives us our number six spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5 spot goes to
Hamilton in Chicago. Hamilton One Last Shy.
One Last Shy.
Oh,
Ooh, this was a
man.
very memorable experience for your broads for many reasons. One, it was a spur of the moment trip for us.
Very spur of the moment. One of my fellow Hamilcast Patreon peeps, Ian and Bill. Hi, Ian and Bill.
Hi.
Were kind enough. They sent me a text and said, "Hey, I know it's a long shot, but we're going to see the last performance. We have an extra ticket. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Oh crap, I want it, but I want my broad to come too." So I texted her and said, "I have one ticket, but I'm sure we can find one. Do you want to come?" And she said she couldn't at first, but then an hour later I get a text with, "What's the dates?" So another one of our Patreon peeps, Katie girl, thank
Came
you.
through.
Yep, and helped Sara
Found a ticket.
get a ticket.
Good ticket, too.
Yeah, really good ticket.
Yeah.
And we were in the room where it happens for the final performance of Hamilton in Chicago.
Okay, your broads are here. One Last Shy. Sadly, we're not sitting next to each other, but we'll check in at intermission. You guys, one last time, Chicago. Teach us how to say goodbye, Neil.
The show itself, you guys, I've never, that is the most electricity I've ever felt in a theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever. The energy was palpable. I mean, it was like, I can't explain it. And we didn't even get to sit next to each other.
We
We sat on opposite sides of the theater.
Yeah.
And when we came together, we were just both like, did you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
it was
was
amazing.
multiple standing ovations, which we kind of already thought. And even the actors themselves had commented about how the show is already long, but it was even longer. I think it was like a 3-hour, 10-minute tour.
I mean, yeah.
With all the standing ovations and all the additional, it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Then to top it off, on top of it, after the show, all of the Patreon peeps, I think we were rolling 40 deep.
Something like that, yeah.
Thank you, Julian. That was all of you, girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's you. We all had a really wonderful dinner right across the street. And it just so happened that Miguel Hamilton was having a private party there as well at the same restaurant that we didn't plan it. It wasn't planned at all. And he came over to our table where all the 40 of us were sitting and eating, and came over and had a proper chat with us.
Yeah.
And took photos and signed playbills.
Graciously signed
Didn't have to do
playbills,
any of
yeah.
that.
Oh,
but I
gosh,
think
yeah.
his love for Jillian, his love for the Patreon peeps, he knew a lot of the peeps that it was just a beautiful exchange of thank yous and we love you and we'll see you on Broadway.
Very memorable.
It was wonderful.
And the
Then,
final piece.
the final little cherry on top of what happened to your broads.
Yeah. So we would at the airport in Chicago. Jen was in the restroom, and I was waiting outside for her. I came out of the restroom already, and a young lady came up to me, and she sort of I saw her approaching me, and she sort of was kind of shaky, and I thought, oh my gosh, does this young lady need some help, or And as I'm leaning toward her, she said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but you look very familiar. Are you one of the Broadway broads?" And I was like, yeah. That's me. And I was like, and Jen is in the bathroom, and she lit up I mean, it was really so special.
She asked to take a photo with you, and then you said, well, if you wait a second, Jen's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, you're both here? Oh my God. You know, and it was just, and Zoe will never forget that.
Never
forget
Zoe.
that. Like we cried in the cab the whole way to, like it was just, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. So Zoe, thank you.
So One Last Shy is very special to your
very,
broads.
very special for so many reasons, but yes, very much so. Okay, sticking with the theme.
Yeah, number 4 spot.
Number 4 spot, we're sticking with Hamilton, but this time here, it's with the original Broadway cast.
So this was our very first Broadway trip together.
But it was also your
very first Broadway trip ever.
And very first Broadway show, very first. So,
yes.
talk about checking a bunch of, ticks off the list.
We saw Hamilton. That was the first show that sort of our little, partnership saw together. So that was very, very special. And
to top it off, again, we're Bay Area born.
Yeah.
We've heard of David Diggs. We're big fans, Bay to Broadway. So we came ready to shower our boy David Diggs with some love. So we had this beautiful custom hustle head made for him. We took a photo, which we'll insert here, of us on the airplane with it, and we tagged David, and we got a response, which I'll show here. And I'm telling you, talk about like one of those like surreal moments. So then we went and stage doored after the end of the show. Oh, during the show, at the end of the show, during the curtain call, we held the hustle head up, and Jonathan Groff, who stands during the bow, stands next to David, started giving him tons of shit. He's like, hey, look at your big heads out in the audience. And we held it up, and he was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So it was just really, really cool. So we went to stage door. We were waiting there. He saw us and he said, stay right there. Don't move. Don't move. And we were like, we're not moving. We're staying right here. And so we got to meet David and just give him some love. And he said he felt the energy, was happy to have the Bay representing. And that was, not only seeing the full Broadway cast, but that was like the
and that particular trip for us, we really feel that sort of was the seed. That was well before we were doing videos and things like that. We were just seeing theater. But when we look back on it, that trip really planted the seeds of the Broadway Broads.
Yep.
So very special.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, moving on down. Number 3.
This one, Aint Too Proud.
Yep. Been with from the beginning to the Berkeley days on.
This one's really special to us, you guys. And this particular experience was when we finally got to see Aint Too Proud on Broadway.
Yes.
So if you've seen the previous videos, we saw the show when it first debuted at Berkeley Rep, and then we followed it down to LA.
Yep. And at Berkeley Rep, we saw it the first week that it even started. We saw it the first week, and I remember at the end of the show, as they're going off on that conveyor belt, we said, you guys are going to Broadway. You're going, and they were looking at us like, what? We're like, we know you're going to Broadway. You're going to Broadway. And so then to be able to follow that on all the way to Broadway is something we'll never forget.
Yeah. And then seeing it twice in a day in LA.
Yes. Trip down to LA, saw it twice there.
Repeat attenders.
We had friends in other locations in Toronto and in DC. They went to go see it because we couldn't, because we were saving to see it on Broadway.
Yeah. So Broadway trip brings some very special moments for us. So it was the first time that the Broadway Broads had a photo shoot.
Yep. As Broadway Broads.
As the Broadway Broads. Yep. And we were photographed by Jarvis B. Manning.
Who is in Aint Too Proud and is a photographer as well.
A phenomenal photographer.
God, and a beautiful person.
Oh gosh,
just
yes.
all around. Yeah.
And then when we were waiting to connect with Jarvis at the stage door, we ran into JMI. Well, JMI actually was signing playbills right next door at the Richard Rogers.
Talk about a sweet spot in New York, right there.
That's like our favorite. Yeah, we're like in a happy.
Yeah, if I was going to get a GPS tattoo of something, that would be the location. right there. Yeah.
So anyway, we're standing out there waiting to connect with Jarvis, and we look over, and there's James Merle Igehart signing playbills. But what really got us was he was like, we just connected with eyes and sort of like waved and smiled, and he was like, I knew the Broads were coming. And that, we got to connect with him, give him a sticker, like just the whole nine.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
We also saw Cynthia.
Yes, we did. And Clayton, who we met back in LA, he is the lead drummer for Aint Too Proud. And we actually did an interview with Clayton. So if you want to check that out, there's an interview. But Clayton we connected with through social media, lead drummer, and just a wonderful human being, has taken us backstage several times too. So we got to hang out with him and his lovely girlfriend, Bryn.
Yeah, and when he took us backstage, as we were about to leave.
I forgot about this.
As we were about to leave the backstage tour, we walking toward the door, there's Cyndi Lauper. Okay? So, Cyndi Lauper, yeah. So
some of them didn't even know. Sarah was like, hey, that's Cyndi Lauper.
I was like,
and they were, all the actors were like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, Clayton, that's Cyndi Lauper.
And we walked back around and we had a full proper chat with Cyndi Lauper.
Got a photo,
got to hang out. They the actors from Aint Too Proud. I think it was James who was there. They introduced us to Cyndi Lauper. We're like, what?
She's like your quintessential New Yorker. She was fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
she was just gushing over
what
the
hell of
show.
a broad that's Cyndi Lauper.
And then she even gave Clayton a comment about his drumming skills.
She did.
And he lost his mind. He was like, I can't believe I'm getting good. It was
Yeah. So then we ended the night after that, meeting up with Clayton's beautiful girlfriend, Bryn.
Bryn, we love
you.
So
we had a nice little nightcap at one of our favorite spots,
Bond 45. Yeah.
What a night.
God, so
that one was great. So that was our number 3.
Yep.
Woof.
All right, moving along. Number 2 spot.
We're almost there. Number 2. 6 Edmonton.
Edmonton, yeah.
So we headed to Edmonton to see Six before it headed to Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Jen did her thing with the tickets.
I did my magic. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. 3 of which were in the front row, and then decided to add a 4th one, and we ended up in the 4th row, which was totally fine. But
totally fine.
Yeah.
So you can pop on to our 6 series. We actually did 6 videos on 6, and that will sort of give you all the details of the trip. But we have to tell you that this trip, it was unforgettable because every single show,
Yes.
and we saw it 4 times.
Yeah, was different.
Yeah.
And it's the same show. So there was some injuries that happened, and these queens, they know how to get down, puns intended. These queens could have decided, you know what, we're just gonna refund tickets for one of the performances. But no, Sam Polly still went on. She had dislocated some ribs. They brought chairs out and they did a concert MTV unplugged version of Six.
Yeah, so out of the 4 times we saw it, we saw 3 concert versions and 1 full complete show.
Yes.
We got to see Super Swing, Miss Mallory Medkey, and we got to see her play Seymour, and then Kate Howard the next day.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was nuts. It was nuts. So it was so great to not only meet all the wonderful people in Edmonton. Edmonton's great. We're going back for sure, right?
Edmonton has the Edmonton Fringe Festival, which we learned about. We knew nothing about prior to this.
And we
trip.
will be going when we're allowed to,
And the Citadel, it became like a second home for us that trip. We were there the entire trip.
Tell what happened with the stage manager.
So the stage manager, after one of the shows, came up, I think it was to you, and was like, hey, hang tight, because the queens want to meet you.
Yeah. Well, but before that, we were going into the theater, and they, was it the stage manager?
It was. The final...
There was the house manager and the stage manager. The stage manager came up to you when we were inside the theater and said, I've been hearing about these Broadway broads. I wanted to meet you guys.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So
then the spot operator.
The spot operator saw us too and said, I gave you a little extra pink on the...
Yeah, he gave us a special
on the spotlight by the second show.
Well, your broads had the privilege of getting down with Miss Brittany Mack 3 of the 4 times that we saw the show. And so he told us, he hit us with a nice little pink special for every time.
I mean, talk about the love.
That was
that was nuts.
Yeah,
that was pretty nuts.
I mean, and then you guys, to top it all off, these queens, after doing stage door and then meeting, chatting with us for a while, they indulged me and they FaceTimed with my daughters, who, of course, mom's a big fan of Six, so my daughters are sort of big fans of Six. We do have a lot of dance parties at home to the cast album, and so they're very privy to it, and so they just indulged me in that, and it was
awesome,
so special.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
And then we were saying that the house manager did pull us to the side on the fourth performance and said the broads would like to, or the queens would like to meet you. So if you could just stay on till after they're done signing playbills. And we were like, okay. So we did, and it was really sweet. They wanted to just thank us for having our energy. It's just crazy. Yeah. They wanted to thank us for having our energy there on a weekend that was really challenging for them, physically, mentally, the whole deal.
Yeah, but you guys, I'll just say this, like those 4 shows were amazing, every single one for different reasons.
No.
We never felt ever that we were cheated out of anything or that they should have refunded.
No.
We were just grateful.
In fact, I think we even got a little bit more.
I think so too. It was special.
It was very special.
It was very special. So we got to go on that journey with them, and so that definitely is number 2 for your broads.
Yep, and we cannot wait to see them on Broadway. We would have seen them already 4 times on Broadway by now, but that's okay.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Okay.
All right, number 1. Are we ready?
Number 1. Okay.
Number 1. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
I mean, so number 1 is Hamilton Broadway. Yeah. This is the second time that we saw Hamilton.
Yep, we saw Sexy Javi as our Hamilton
did.
for this one. Oh, he was so good.
So some of you may know, just if you've been with us for a little while, you may know that we actually were invited backstage after this particular performance. We have been asked countless times, how did you do it? How did you do it? How did you do it? And we were just very respectful of, we just didn't want to put things out there because for us, it just sort of felt like it just happened and it was sort of fate. There was really not there wasn't a calculated plan.
Exactly. No calculated plan.
But we kind of want to indulge you guys in this story because it's special and it's our number 1 theater experience of all time. Right. So it's time to release the story.
Yeah, spill the tea, right?
Yeah. Okay, so that particular day, Jen and I were cruising around the theater district for many reasons. We were shopping, we were sightseeing, whatever we were, just cruising around. For whatever reason, we were almost lost within the theater district because we were going like in Schubert Alley, out back, around, just not doing any direct shots to where we were going. So we were headed down where the Richard Rodgers is. And we were stopping to take photos, taking our time. There was really no rush for us at this point. And so we're moving along, and then the doors swing open to the Richard Rodgers, and out steps Jimmy
the doorman. Not through the stage door, through the actual theater doors. He came out, and I looked at him like, I know this guy.
And we just yelled,
Jimmy! And he was like, hey! And we're like, hi, Jimmy. I said,
and if you're a Hamill fan,
you know who Jimmy is.
The doorman is.
And so we just said, Jimmy, we have some gifts for you. We're going to bring them to the show tonight. Can we leave them for you at stage door? And he said, well, I'm not going to be there tonight, but you can leave them with Darnell. He's a good kid. Tell him I sent you. So we did. So then fast forward, Nicole gets in. We see the show with Nicole. We're waiting outside. We get there early because I'm a freak about getting in the theater early. So we get there early. We're waiting outside. They haven't even done, seating yet or anything. And so we're waiting outside. We bring the gifts up. We walk up to the stage door and we said, are you Darnell? And he said, yeah. And I said, we have some gifts for some of the actors. We were bringing stuff for Thane and Andrew. And so we said, we have some gifts we would like, and we have one for you. And he said, for me? And I said, yeah, one's for you and one's for Jimmy. And he said, oh, thanks. And we handed them to him. And off we went.
All we were hoping was like, please just get the gifts back to them. We brought some cute little things, nothing big,
Yeah.
No expectations of anything.
At all. So then we're sitting there, we're just standing on the corner again, waiting. I'll insert this photo because this is literally us moments before. And in the back of this photo, you can see
the doorman
that's standing there. He walks right up to us.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh shit, are we in trouble?
Like, should we not be standing out here?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
We're like, uh-oh, what do we do? And he goes, ladies, Darnell would like to invite you to be his personal guests backstage.
What? We were like, thank you, right? And then Jenny was like, she started to like.
I was like this, like.
She was like, and then we, be cool, Jenny, be cool. And Nicole, God bless her, she's like, hey, let's not get our hopes up. We're seeing Hamilton, and that's amazing, and this probably isn't going to happen. So let's just be cool.
Because we don't know if they're pulling our leg. We didn't know. We're like,
they could have been messing with us. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We just didn't. We weren't
he
that
asked
hopeful.
for our names, but we didn't think anything. We're like, they're messing with us.
Yeah,
whatever.
So time to take our seats, and we're walking to the door, and Darnell's like standing where
he just happened to pop his head out of the stage door and pops his head out, and he goes, "I'll see you guys after the show." And then Nicole, without skipping a beat, goes,
"It's happening."
And then I go back into, and she's like, be cool, be cool. I'm like, oh, it really is happening. It really is happening.
And so then we have to like get to the seats and sit down and like
watch the
take
show.
in the show, right?
Yeah.
And where are we sitting?
We're sitting in the third row.
Yeah,
We're
all
sitting
the
on
way house right.
House right,
Way
all
house
the way
right.
house right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean-
Nicole's first time seeing Hamilton too.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, so right there it was like hard enough to just concentrate and see the show, but we were like, okay, here we are. So we just couldn't believe it. So of course Act 1 is amazing. We're just, like overwhelmed and then, but I have to pee. But being
As you do.
as you do, and being a repeat attender, I sort of knew when I had my little sweet spot to like pop up and get to the bathroom at the Richard Rodgers, because if you've ever been there, the usher that handles that deserves a lot. So anyway, so right at the end of Nonstop, I pop up right as the lights go down, and I just zoom out, and who do I run into in the lobby?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
So I make eye contact with him, and I can immediately tell the look on his face is like, please, I'm just trying to get backstage. I swear to you, that's what he was.
Before all of the intermission people
Because
come out.
the show wasn't done yet. Like I had
Right.
popped out just before they were like gonna dim the lights. So I was like, I couldn't like figure out what to say, and all I could say was, "It's a masterpiece, thank you." And I just tapped him on the shoulder like that. And then Nicole was right behind me, and as I was walking, because
I was the
you
third
were
one out of
the
the
third
seats,
one back.
yeah.
Nicole was right behind. I was walking slowly, and she came right behind me. She was like, "I saw the whole thing, girl," and I was like, "Thank God," because I don't know if anyone's gonna believe me. So the joke is like, we're gonna be 80 years old telling the story, and she'll be like,
yeah,
"I saw the whole thing."
So now fast forward to the end of the show, and we make it out to the stage door, and we're like, we feel like imposters. We have no business being there, but we go there anyway. We walk up, we see the same doorman. He sees us. He goes, Darnell said, wait a second, just wait here. And we're sitting there in all the lines of everybody, for autographs, and people are looking at us like, who are these girls? Like, how are they getting to go back there? And we're thinking the same thing. Don't be mistaken. We're like,
We're usually on that side of the partition.
Yeah. So Darnell walks us in, gets us checked in, walks up, brings us up. He goes, you literally walk in, you walk up a few stairs, and you're on the stage. Like, that's how it happened.
Tiny little
yeah.
theater.
So he walks us up and he goes, so Lin-Manuel is here, Demi Lovato is here, the actors. He's like,
take some pictures,
videos, have some fun. Have fun, ladies. And we're like, wait, well, we want a photo with you. And Darnell's like, you want a photo with me? And we're like, yeah, we want a photo with you. So we take a photo with Darnell, and then he just let us loose onto the stage. And we're on the stage. There's all the actors there. We got to take pictures with Brandon Victor Dixon, with all of the different cast members. Lynn was there.
There's my golden girls, just chilling. Oh, there's just Lin-Manuel right there, just chilling. No big deal. There's the ghost flag.
Oh my God.
And then as we left, we sort of got to step out of the stage door of Hamilton at the Richard Rodgers. And let me tell you,
Talk about getting your
about disappointment on the faces.
Yeah, because the door swung open and they're all, woo!
But just that moment, I remember, and there we have, I think, a photo of the doorman and the smile on his face. It was special. Like, he was so happy for us. Like, it was something we'll never forget.
Never forget.
And then, as we're walking out, who shows up? Our buddy Chris. Yeah. And he's like, I know you. And
lady.
We're walking out of the stage door. It was just magical.
We kept our cool, but I'm going to tell you, once we made it all the way back to our hotel, got to the hotel,
sort of in disbelief.
Still, quiet uptown, the whole deal, right? Like, can't even believe what just happened. We get up into our hotel room, we lock the door, and we just start screaming, like in our hotel room, crying, screaming. Could not believe the experience that we just had.
Yeah, and then we celebrated the next morning with breakfast.
Yes, we did. Breakfast on our balcony with champagne, as we do.
Yeah, so that was your number one theater experience.
And again, we didn't ask for this. Is why we always say, just stay open and optimistic. Don't ask for anything. It just, if it happens, it happens.
And like our intention, and we do this a lot. We're so grateful for the performers and them putting out so much for us, and so we tend to gift small little tokens of appreciation, and that's really all we were doing. And the fact that evolved into what it did is very special to us and something we'll never forget.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's our top 10, you guys. You wanted it. There you go. You got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you guys,
okay.
it's
Are you
time
ready?
for the giveaway.
Yep. It is time. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one that we're going to give away is this one here.
It's the Broadway Flea Market.
Sadly, there's not going to be a flea market.
And this is from
year.
2016.
Yep.
This was a special like series
A
of
special
cards.
card. Yeah. So that one, that's the first one. And then sticking on the Hamilton theme, the Bullet herself,
Yes.
soon to be Anita. Yes.
And this is from the spring 2016. set.
Yep. Ariana. That's the next one. And then your favorite Mormon / king and mine, Andrew Reynolds.
And he's also from the spring 2016. set.
Yep. And then this is the
There's
trio.
the trio. Here we
I'm
go.
just curious if you're, go ahead, give us some guesses. What do you think? What do you think? So here's the trio. Ready to work for it? Oh, these
The
three.
Scarlet Sisters.
Yes.
So we've got Philippa Sue, Renee Goldsberry, and Jasmine.
Yep. So you get all three of those.
So Renee and Philippa are both spring 2016, and Jasmine is autumn 2016. Yes. So that's our giveaway. So in order to enter, you need to comment below with the hashtag theater experiences. Your broads are going to use TubeBuddy comment prize generator, and we're going to grab that hashtag and pick a winners at random.
for each one of those. And then we'll put the winners' names in this show's comment or this video's comment, and then you'll email us with your address so that we can send them out to you.
Yeah.
So
Be sure to subscribe.
yeah, subscribe, hit that bell notification, because again, we're going to give these Lights of Broadway cards at every single one in every single video till we run out.
Till we run
So,
out. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Our top 10 theater experiences.
All right.
All right. Curtain.
Places is what they say. They hella love musicals and they review them all day. It's Jen and Sara, the Broadway Broads of the Bay.